Hello, guys. Good morning. Today we're gonna be talking about more about the alliance funds that used to be an issue for a lot of alliance during the server versus server. It's not really. It's just more to the alliance funds is used for a couple of things in the past, whereby you actually need it to build like the safe house, to build your alliance base, and these are only the alliance leader and the so-called the L4 are actually able to perform such tasks, right? And the other thing was that we have this alliance store that the leaders or the L4s in your alliance, they can actually help members to purchase items to stock it up in your alliance shop for members to actually purchase using their individual alliance credit. Right, but all these items that they purchase and stock placing it in the store will actually cost cost us alliance funds. That was in the past. Now there's a very big difference, right? Because I think probably the developers got back to us hearing our views and concern about the alliance funds not being enough, right? So now the alliance funds will only be practically be used as how should I put it? Used for building of safe house and your alliance base and so forth. It will not be used to. It will not be consumed when they are trying to buy things and place in the alliance shop. Yeah, exactly. Uh, Currently, I believe a lot of old server they might have seen this in the past, but right now I think it is more or less settled. That means there's only a couple of people that is really being trusted to be in the alliance that will tends to actually use the funds correctly. Right, so there will only be rotation between these players until there's a new one who can prove that he or she is trustworthy, right, to be able to help the alliance grow. If not, I don't think there will be any much more rotation between these these L force. Right, because it can be a sabotage. That means, let's say, for example, I might I might be in another account. I mean another server where I'm doing my my best daily in the account. But when it comes to SBS, and let's say I'm being promoted to BL4, and when it comes to SBS servers versus server, I go and screw that alliance out. That means I anyhow just build the safe house and demolish it, build the safe house and demolish it, and I deplete their alliance funds so that they cannot really expand in the during the north. Mm-hmm. No. Mm-hmm. Um. Uh. For me, uh, I I can play together with them in the same server, but I might not necessarily give them the empowerment to be able to have access to being in the L4 yet. Because let's say this is what I felt is that now let's say I have accounts in server 6, server 7 and server 8. Right. And these three accounts will be in the server versus server. Correct? For the next 21. Okay, now is that this question will go into every alliance leader's mind when we are reaching to the server versus server. How committed are you to your account in this server? Which which account is your which account is are you actually going to be prioritizing? Yeah. Wow, this is a good question. Right. So when for me personally, what I do what I used to do was that this person will still be with the server with the alliance to be playing together with us. But a lot of important information will not be shared to these particular players, right? And they will not get access. Yep. Yeah. Hello, hello.
For some reason I
Hello, hello.
okay, that's super annoying. I'm sorry, guys. Okay, so for some reason, and I don't know why, my audio reset itself.
The topic is too sensitive.
Oh gosh, bro, are you kidding me?
Okay, so.
All right, now it's working. Now it's working. Damn it. Okay, okay. Well, we're just gonna run with it. All right. Thank you so much, Pang. If it wasn't for Pang right now, we wouldn't even know. And I want to thank you. I just got done doing a live stream previously. I don't even know if it was working now. I'm gonna have to go back and listen to it. I think it was, but I don't know how it possibly could have just reset like that. So I do apologize, and thank you again, Pang, for bringing that to my attention. That's super annoying, and I appreciate it. Okay, so let's just go ahead and recap everything that we talked about, since apparently nobody heard anything I was saying for the last 17 minutes. All right.
Oh,
Yeah, they could hear you perfect, but they couldn't hear me. Okay, so the first thing we talked about was the topic of tonight. Smash, if you want to just go ahead and reiterate, and we'll try to get through it a little bit quicker so we can catch up with the conversation.
all right. The topic today is about be careful of your alliance funds because as we all know that there's a lot of players with multiple accounts in multiple server and are playing multiple alliance. So with the server versus server coming up, are these players actually one of your L4 and they have access to your alliance funds?
And so this can be a huge problem, because you actually need those alliance funds for the duel in the north. Can you explain a little bit about that?
All right. Why we need the alliance funds is because we need these funds to actually build the safe house, to be able to expand further into the zones. It's actually very similar to the map that you have. You all start off at the outer zone, then you eventually move into the center of zone. So in order to do that, you need to build safe house.
Right.
And building safe house is going to cost you alliance funds. Currently, I checked for SCM. I don't know about the other new alliance. I mean, a newer server, how much it's going to cost them per safe house. But for STM, it's going to cost us 300k for one safe house.
And so how much alliance funds would you say you need total to have a successful duel in the north?
The previous duel in the north, we had 20 plus million and it wasn't enough.
Oh my god. And then of course we talked about also duel in the north. You can easily mess up and waste alliance funds, right? Like you were talking about connecting properly and then accidentally deleting the wrong ones and stuff like that. So
Yes.
you're talking about STM. This is not a new alliance, guys. This is an alliance that's been around for a while. They've got tons of alliance funds. They've saved up, but all of that could possibly go up in smoke, hypothetically, if you let the wrong person in, right? or not even let them in, but if you promote the wrong person. So there definitely is that there. There's that scare tactic. Also at the same time, right? We have players that have accounts in multiple servers, and that's kind of where we left off a second ago before Ping let me know that my mic wasn't active. Thanks again, by the way. And my question to Smash was, how many accounts is too many? Is there a certain amount of accounts where, like, if let's say somebody has got an account in every server, their time is split up to the point where you're like, I don't know where this person's loyalty is, and when it comes time for server versus server duel in the North, how do you know you can trust that person? And then the second part, this is a two-part question, how do you know if you can trust that person? The second part of the question is there anything you can do, like a safety measure, to make sure that the people that are playing in multiple servers don't intentionally throw that event, don't intentionally screw you over? Is there anything you can do, or do you just have to put your trust in that person and hope that they don't?
All right. The first question is that, okay, for players who have multiple accounts in multiple server, because even in STM there's Ash, our leader, Ashley, like Machiavelli, like me myself, we have multiple accounts in multiple server. Right?
Right.
But what we know where our priority lies in.
Right.
Which server we actually are more focused on trying to win. Right? A player can have as many accounts as they like. There's no good fixed amount. Right? Because every server you get to meet different kind of players. Right? I might feel comfortable in server 6, but I might not really feel comfortable in server 9. But I might have an account there. So I might feel more biased to server 6 and not to server 9. So it's up to each individual player. Of course, as you mentioned, that they might also have this problem of trying to be equal to all the accounts. But I can tell you, it's not going to be possible because we're a human being after all.
Mm-hmm.
There is definitely going to be one account that is going to be your main account. It's just that you don't want to admit it.
Right. So again, though, the question is, how do you know if you can trust that person if they've got multiple accounts and server versus server is 2 days away, hypothetically, right? How do you know you can trust that person? And then the second question is there anything you can do to take precautions in case that person is going to intentionally screw you over?
All right. The first thing is let's talk about the prevention, right?
Mm-hmm.
Unless it's a very trusted player, then, like for example, Machiavelli, Salty Dog, they do have accounts in other accounts. Just a moment,
Mm-hmm. You good, buddy? I mean, I feel bad for anybody who's in that situation. Like myself, I am in server 6 with Smash in them. That is my main server. That's always going to be my main server. That I'm always going to prioritize that server. But I feel like they know that, and I feel like I'm in a weird situation where I was able to prove my loyalty to these guys, but not everybody can do that, right?
Yes, correct.
Not everybody is making content for the community. Not everybody has a really tight relationship like I have with Smash and Ashy Bashy and everybody. So for a lot of players, that I'm in a unique situation. However, what do these players do that, I mean, like for instance, Smash and them, right? Like you guys, I'm sure you have a lot of players, maybe not a lot, but at least a few players that are playing in multiple servers. how do you know you can trust these people, and is there anything you can do to take preventative measures to make sure that you don't get screwed over? And then I would also like to actually, you know what, before you answer that question, could we do something a little more fun?
Yep.
What are some
that?
things that a player could do to sabotage server versus server? What are things that you need to look out for as a leader? Like as a leader or part of the management team, what are some things you need to be looking out for in case somebody was trying to sabotage the server versus server?
Let's say the first thing was we're talking about the alliance funds to prevent these players from being in the L4, whereby they can have access to the alliance funds and to build and demolish safe house on their own free will. So this is one of it. You don't want to have that happening to your alliance during the server versus server. The next will be more to like when you guys are discussing about your strategy. If you guys want to discuss it on your alliance chat, fine, do it. But you have the risk of having this information that when you are discussing in your alliance chat or using the alliance mail or whatever, the kingdom mail, that this information will link to your enemy server.
So just you talking about just discussing strategy can be a huge way of damaging an alliance before the event even starts.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Like for example, I want to see how far. I want to make a guess on how far of a progress that the server 4 and number 1 alliance can actually expand into the map of Due in the North.
Mm-hmm.
So the first thing I want to find out about number 1 alliance is how much alliance funds do they have. So this is the one thing that I want to find out. And if I have players in number 1 alliance, all they need to do is have to screenshot the alliance funds and show it to me.
Wow, so you're saying that could hinder an alliance just by knowing how much alliance funds they have compared to you?
Yeah.
And
because
so
for you to grow into expand towards the Due in the North, you need a lot of alliance funds.
Damn, that's
so
crazy.
I can just find ways to keep depleting your alliance funds. There's so many other types of strategy. Okay, I can force you to come to me. You come to me after you build one, I destroy one. You build one, I destroy one, but I do not expand first. Or when I know that you have lesser fund than me, I expand faster than you so that you cannot catch up with me. So there's so many ways to play it.
Damn, that's crazy, bro. I did not even know that.
Now you guys know. Actually, I'm not supposed to share all these things, but you tricked me into it.
Well, I'm glad you did, anyways. Because that I had no idea. But I mean, but it's something that people need to know. I mean, if you're in an alliance, you're an alliance leader, and you've got players that are in your alliance that are playing multiple servers, this is some stuff you guys need to look out for. You know, there's gonna be a time, most likely, if you have players doing this, that this is gonna come up for sure. Or if it's not happening and somebody suspects somebody of it, even worse, right? Even worse, because now people are going to be asking questions. The questions are, well, what about so and so? They spend just as much time in server 7, or you know what I'm saying? Like, it's definitely going to talk about it. So, you know, we've talked about how they can sabotage the alliance by spending alliance funds, by sharing information about the alliance funds. So now we can get back to the original question, which is, what are some safety measures you could take in order to try and prevent somebody from actually doing this?
All right. For me myself, I personally, this is how I don't really promote any new player who just come into to our server or to my alliance to the officer role, so that they will have no access to the alliance files. Of course, when they first come in, they can be very funny. They can try to be very nice with everybody, make us feel very comfortable with them. But still, they still have a lot of other things to prove. Not just by being friendly with us, they will get to have to be the officer.
Okay, so just be careful who you're promoting.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I mean that's simple
So
enough.
that's one way. Since we are not promoting these new players to the officer rank, so we are protecting our alliance funds, right? Then the next one will be, as I mentioned about when we talk about strategy, right? We do have a channel set up in Discord, right, for players that's actively playing
Yes.
in STM. Right, so that when we want to share certain, when we want to discuss certain items, or we want to do a voice call during the server versus server, it will be easier
Yes.
for us to communicate. So, but it's not that is not the only Discord server that we have for STM. We do actually have another one set up, which is plainly for discussing strategy on how are we going to do, who is actually going to be the safe house now building the safe house, right? Who will be in charge of certain things at a certain point of time. This is our strategy.
Okay.
So we do not include these new players into that Discord channel.
That's actually really smart. So you're saying you have multiple group chats with your officers or the people that are supposed to be being trusted, and you can safeguard information that way, where you only have the people that you can confirm, that are super loyal, or should I say your loyalists. Have you ever heard of anybody leaking false information to see if it gets passed on to another alliance?
I haven't get to see it yet, but of course it can be done. People can throw out false information. Like for example, because I do have multiple accounts. Let's take me for example. I will just not log in to my this account in server 6. Alright, for a week or probably 2 weeks. But while I was playing another account, and people will know that Smash hasn't been online for 2 weeks. I tell you from other server, people will start talking about it. Smash hasn't been online for 2 weeks. Alright?
Oh, I'm sure.
And of course the enemy kingdom or silver, they will feel that he's not playing, okay, we have a better chance or whatever. They will start to be excited or whatever. But on the actual day, I come back into the game. You never know. It's just like Vadim, he has taken his time off from War Elite. But I'm still always on the precaution, preparing that he might just appear out of nowhere.
I can't remember if it. I don't know. I guess I probably shouldn't say it during the live. But let's just say that he was saying that his account might not be safe over there at the moment.
Oh, his account is perfectly okay. I've shown it to him. We and him, we still talk regularly on our Discord. Alright? I believe you as well. But because it happens before, right? This is one thing that I actually, why am I so under caution is because in the first server versus server, just before it started, the same thing happened. Vadim kind of temporarily left the game because of his personal issue.
Mm-hmm.
And we thought that he quit.
So
alright. So as we progress in the server versus server, the deal in the norm, we were making so much progression. Then midway through the game, he came back.
Ah, okay. Well, let's hope that's the case. let us hope and pray. So you're saying that his account is safe at the moment?
Yes, it's safe.
Okay. Another thing that I wanted to ask.
Why do you?
Huh?
Why do he think that his account is unsafe? Because I think he received some false information that they're going to try to burn his Burgess City.
Yeah, that's
To zero him.
that's what I heard. Yeah.
But I told him it would be very stupid of the alliance to try to do that.
Agreed. Yeah, definitely agreed.
Do you know how much more they have to lose individual as a player in power just to burn Vadim?
that was my first thought. I was like, can they even do that? Like, is it even like a possibility?
Yeah. So I told him he don't have to worry. His account is perfectly safe.
Yeah,
They will probably need about 5 or 6 of me to go and try to burn Vadim to 0.
5 or 6 of you people your size?
Yep.
What the hell?
Right? Why? Why? Because don't forget, when we attack his city, his troops goes into hospital. We get dead troops first.
Yeah, always, right?
So power will drop drastically, and because of the amount of T5 that he has in his disposal in his city, how big a rally can you set? 2 million compared to his like 20-30 million of T5s.
That's true. But I can't.
How many?
I can't imagine having invested into anything, not to mention a game account like that. So I can't imagine it. I can't imagine it in my head walking away from an investment like that. I can't see it. Not in a million years, never. Not unless I had it like that where an investment like that was nothing. You know what I'm saying? Where it's like I've already done 20 or 30 of those investments. Like that's the only way, bro. There's no way I couldn't do it. To me, that's like walking. To me, that's like walking away from a vehicle that I've invested a bunch of money, and I'm just like, you know what? I don't want to drive that anymore. I can't see it.
You don't drive it, but you still own it, okay?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But it can be destroyed eventually, right?
The people who really want to destroy him have to really put in the effort and determination, because they're gonna lose a lot of their own power and their troops just trying to kill him. Are they willing to go through that race? Probably will happen to players that actually I give up on the game. I will just go and try and help in whatever way I can before I leave the game.
Right.
But these are players that have not invested in the game. But you are a person who have really invested in the game. Are you really willing to take the risk just to try and zero him?
That's a great question. That's a really great question.
I know that I wouldn't.
You say that it would take like 5 or 6 guys your size. I'm trying to put this into perspective into my head. What reasons would they have to attempt to zero his account? Because in in server versus server, you can't just like you can't get points from hitting. Wait, no, because Duel in the North, you have to teleport into the North. Are there any events where people can teleport into our server?
They cannot teleport into our server. No,
that's what I'm saying. So if the only way I could see it making sense to zero him is if there was, because in the other game, Godfather, that I did play, right? Their version of server versus server, first they do server merger. Once they do server merger, they have a server versus server type thing where, well, no, it's once they do the server merger, yeah, then they'll do a server versus server, and you can teleport into that server, and any, like, the way you get points is by getting kills, and you get those kills by, you get points by killing off that player's troops in that server, right? That you're at war with.
Mm-hmm.
So
yep.
It would make sense if you guys had an event like that where the only way to get points in server versus server is by killing enemy troops. So but since that's not a thing, what would be there would be really no point. And like, I mean, that's one reason why Godfather I always thought was so savage in comparison to War Elite, was because they will straight up tell you this. Like, I mean, I just had a conversation not too long ago with T-Rex, and T-Rex was telling this big guy, you remember Swift I was telling you about? The Spender
Yep.
Swift? He told Swift,
Yep.
because he was explaining, it was Swift's first server versus server or whatever, and T-Rex was telling him, like, hey, if I don't get online an hour before server versus server starts, you are to zero my account. So that way, because he would rather have his own players zero his troops, kick him and zero him and burn him, than let the other server get those points. That's how serious it is. And you're talking about those spenders are spending probably easily $1,000 on troops, and he just straight up said, zero them. Kill off my troops.
Wow.
Right. And so and because that's the nature of the beast in that game. But my point is that since there is no events like that in War Elite, what would be a reason to even want to zero his account? Or any account for that matter.
Okay, this is what happens in a previous game that I played, which I'm not going to mention. But those people who know me, they know what game I played in the past,
Mhm.
right? We do zero players with great powers. I mean high number in powers, for the sake of decreasing the overall power of the kingdom.
Right.
Right, because currently War Elite, we haven't I believe they haven't really went to the stage whereby this phrase will happen in the game. But when there's a lot more active servers opening out and more server opening out, as you can see from the Dew in the North, there's this matchmaking phrase, the matching phrase, which I already talk a bit about it in the last previous podcast. It will be most likely when there's multiple server that's actually open up. This matching phase will actually try to match the server with the about the same amount of power to play against each other.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
So if let's say now I have actively at server 6, I only have 20 players, and it's only gonna be like 1/10 of the total power that the server of the whole server in server 6. So I will actually try to lower the server power in total power of the server by going to zero those people who already left the game, so that I bring the power down, so I get matched with another opponent whereby I don't get overwhelmed by their members or the power.
Okay. I mean, well, okay. So can we circle back just for a second to, you know, you got server versus server coming up.
Yep.
Let's say for instance, you've got somebody that is actually big enough to make a difference on either side. But they're splitting their time up equally amongst multiple servers. How do you make that decision as a leader of an alliance? Do you just risk it? Do you risk it? Do you say, hey, look, I need to take you out of the alliance, you know, until this is over, or what?
I wouldn't.
You would risk it?
Right, because for players that have high combat power, in multiple servers, if all the servers all the accounts are of similar power, very similar to each other, let's say around 60 to 70 million for each of the account, do you know how much time and money this player have to put into each individual account?
Sounds to me like a lot.
Yes. And this player might be doing this just trying to try to balance out the game. It's like, let's say for example, I have in server 7 and server 6, both account is at 200 mil. Let's say
Right.
for example. Right, and then when server 6 and server 7 go head on, face on. Well, I see that server 6 we have lesser player. Right, I might be biased. That's why I'll just log on to the server 6 account.
Right.
Alright, and try to attack. But at the same time, I can also log into my 7 account and just only do defense. And have to defend. But I do not attack.
Okay, that makes sense then.
Right, unless I have all my accounts bind into different emails or buy into different email. I can easily do that with multiple devices. I can play 2 at the same time. I can play 3 accounts at the same time.
Well, that's kind of what I was getting at is if these, because I've asked you before in the past.
Yep.
I asked you, why is it that these alliances from different servers aren't working together? Why is it that server 6 and server 4, or I'm sorry, why is it that server 6 and server 7 did not work together to try and take out server 4 when they had Vadim and Poppy and all these big players? Why didn't they do that? And you said basically it's the rewards. Like the rewards are what makes players want to do it. So, or just participate in general. So they want those rewards for themselves, right? So it becomes a we want it and we don't want to risk somebody else taking it. So it seems serious to me. It seems like some players take this very seriously. Peng says yes, and now my internet is not good. Haha. So if the rewards are that good, that all of these alliances are like, no, we want to take this, and it seems pretty serious. How do you?
No. So for me, I just think that okay, because you are talking about old players in the game. These are old players actually being in this all these older server in these alliances. All right.
Right.
So they know very well how many players active you have over there, how many players I have active over here, how we actually gonna be matching up if we really go head on. So it's a 50-50% chance. So if it's a 50-50% for both sides, then why should I be the one playing second fiddle? Why should I be listening to what you tell me to do? Why should I be listening to what you tell me that I can get?
That's a good point.
I'm experienced as you. I'm equally experienced as you are, right? We are both equally. We are both equally strong, alliance or server. And why should I be playing second fiddle to you?
Right. That's a really good point. I don't know. That's a really good point, bro. I'm not gonna lie. That is a good point.
So these are all the very very simple issue that it wasn't sorted out. They weren't unable to sort it out. That's why you find it very hard to see that two different kingdom, two different servers trying to work together. Because ultimately there's rewards. All right, let's put the rewards aside.
Mm-hmm.
Just saying that. Why should I be listening to your server? Why? Tell me.
Well,
Just because, let's say for example, 4 and 6. Just because you have Smash, we have Vadim, we have Poppy.
right. So it doesn't come down to the players. It's not the players.
Yeah.
I think that this for sure is something that I'm glad we talked about. And I think I couldn't imagine, bro. No, I'll tell you right now. If the game, because this game is pretty big, but in comparison to the amount of servers that Godfather has, this game is tiny. I mean, literally microscopic. compared to the
Yep.
amount of players and servers that Godfather had. I couldn't imagine. First of all, nobody, not even Pang, right, could, and she's got a lot of accounts. Not even Pang could keep up with that amount of servers over there. So we talked about it just recently too. It's not competitive enough. This game is not competitive enough. There's not enough war going on. It seems like every time there's some type of war going on in War Elite, the server dies immediately because there's so few competitive players that once you like, okay, let's say there was 20 competitive players, right? And you divide those 20 up, 10 on 10, 10 on one family, 10 on the other family. One side wins. You just lost 10 of your your most active competitive players. Now you have 10 left. But those 10 players, they're going to get bored because now they have nobody to play against, right? No reason to keep spending, no reason to be competitive, no reason to just have that super love for the game. So I can't imagine that this game has, you know, the same amount of competitive players as Rise of Kingdoms or Godfather, because this game is that good. It really is that good. It's missing that component. But if, let's just say because you know I like to do my imaginary worlds. Let's say in an imaginary War Elite world, we had 100 active competitive players in each server, or even 50 to 75. I don't think, because I can't imagine back when I played Godfather that somebody would try and do a server war with multiple accounts. Bro, people are so freaking paranoid in that game all the time, bro. They're so competitive. They're so paranoid that part of the reason why I was getting so much hate was because I was doing dude, like the veteran players hated me in Godfather for a long time. Literally hated me because they were like, "Oh, he's gonna get information and he's gonna give it to we have a strategy for our server versus server. We can't give that strategy out." I mean, bro, it was like you would have thought it was real life war. Like for real. That's the way they were talking about it. And I'm just like, guys, I'm just trying to promote the game. Like, I don't, you know what I'm saying? But, and I'll be honest, it took me probably a year almost of streaming Godfather to realize why they were so paranoid, because there was legitimate reasons behind it. I could understand it. But looking back now, bro, there's no flipping way that you could play multiple servers in that game and try and do a server versus server, because number one, they would burn you in a second if they suspected you of anything, and number two,
that's what we do in the older in the other game that I used to play. That's what we do as well. We don't let you have the chance to get access to any information that you can from the server or from the alliance. We zero you immediately, man.
That's so crazy, bro. Like I can't imagine somebody trying to do that in this game if it had that many competitive players. There's no way. There's no way, bro. I don't see it. That's the only...
The reason why.
Go ahead.
Why we still have multiple accounts in the previous game, but it was more of like a dummy account to reach a certain level, so that we can spy the kingdom.
Right.
Just like for Rise of War Elite, the same thing. Alright, in order for you to see, let's say for example, the power ranking, your castle villa 7 have to be at least 7 to reach level 7 before you can take a look at the individual combat power. That way you can keep an eye out on the top players in the server, right? Then you can take a look at the alliance power. So we only try to reach to a certain point in the game whereby we have access to this ranking thing, then we stop. And we only check back in only when we need to.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. Dude, that's pretty cool, man. Hey, look. The way I see it is we need more competitiveness. We need more players that actually care about, you know, just real hardcore players, bro. We need them. And I feel like the events that we have right now, like Sea Battle and Island War and stuff like that, like, that's a good start. That's a really good start.
Sorry to cut you off, but Just that recently we have been receiving also some new players joining STM.
Oh.
You know those player with the player then the numeric behind
Yeah.
their game name. These players are those that we are very cautious about. We don't see this for so long. Then when they is coming near server versus server, these players start popping up. So I don't care which server you are trying to come from. You guys are not getting any shit out from us.
I'm so glad you threw that in there. Oh, that's beautiful, Smash. That's beautiful. Yes, no, he's right, guys. 100% right. You guys can make all the fake accounts you want to. You guys can make all the farm accounts you want and bring them into server 6. You guys aren't getting any information. They've got everything locked up tight. It's just not happening. I mean, for God's sakes, I don't even know what the full strategy is, and I'm making videos about it.
No way.
Wait. Hold on a second. You guys suspect me, don't you?
It's not that we suspect you. It's not the problem of whether we suspect you or not. It's because right now, we want to only share the information. Like we want to get people to get used to looking at markers set by the leaders and the officers in the alliance. Right, what we used to do is that we always try to get people to like sending out mails, alliance mails, like telling people what we want to do in advance, blah 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 blah. It doesn't work. No people read the alliance mail as well. Probably the spies. They are more interested in all this alliance mail compared to the real actual active players in the alliance.
Damn.
Because they don't read the mail. So this is out. Right, and then during wartime, we try to talk in the alliance chat.
Mm-hmm.
We don't really get reply except for those trusted players among ourselves that we actually still reply regularly in the alliance chat. The rest, they just keep silent. But we are glad that they follow the instructions. So we
Right.
make use of the markers.
I'm reading something very sad right now that Wraith just said. Wraith, are you being serious right now? I don't even want to read it out loud. I don't even want to read it out loud because then it makes it real. If you want to read it, you can. I hope he's not serious.
What?
Yeah. Wraith, I want to read it out loud, but if I read it out loud, then it's real. And I don't want to believe that it's real. We are heavily reliant on the OG players of this game to keep it going. Because if imagine that when I joined Server 6, Smash wasn't there to take me in and take me under his wing and teach me the game. I can't imagine not actually doing this podcast. He says he's for real. I hope that he changes his mind for sure. But listen, guys, we need OG veteran players. Like, I understand the game it took a dip. But again, I can't imagine there not being players like Smash and Vadim and them like. We need you guys. We need you guys to keep this game going. We need you guys to be there when new players come in to teach them. And I have a huge appreciation for the veteran players of this game. I wish there was 3 or 4 of me where I can be in all the 4, 6, 7, and 8 servers. I wish I could all the time. But what I will say is this. We appreciate everything that you have done for the community thus far, and we definitely appreciate you supporting the live stream and coming in here all the time, Wraith. It means a lot to us, and I know it means a lot to people that you might not even think it means a lot to, people you don't even know, but it definitely does. But Smash, is there anything that you want to say to the people before we get out of here?
guys, people in game come and go. There will be some people that we do really have feelings attached to them. It's kind of sad to see people that you know, or you even maybe even have a good respect between the players have, and eventually they live. Like I respect Vadim. I respect Vadim a lot. Right, we may be competitors in the game, but out of it, we are actually good friends. We talk about other games, as I said. But so when he decided to leave, it was kind of like hit me as well. But at the same time, I felt happy. So people come and go. It tends to kind of affect some of us if we are being attached to the game. But the game will still go on. Right? And at any time that you guys decided to just come back and take a look, or just to visit, you are always welcome.
I agree, man. Sometimes it's good to take a step away. I had to take a step away from a few games that I had genuinely, obsessed over and had hella love for. I had to take steps away in order to appreciate the game again. Sometimes it's good. Sometimes you can really fall back in love with a game after you walk away for a little bit. I'm currently doing that with Wild Terra. That was the first game that I obsessed over besides Frostborn, and now I'm playing that game again. Like, it feels like the first day again, honestly. That hour I put into it earlier, I didn't want to get off. I was just so tired. But there sometimes to appreciate something, you do have to walk away from it. And I hope that's the case with a lot of the veteran players. I hope that they walk away for a little bit, and then when they come back, they're they have just as much love for it or more. But yeah, guys, I appreciate all of you for sure.
Vadim, he's just giving me some extra time to try to catch up with him in the game.
Yeah, that's all it is. That's all it is. But guys, I really hope you guys like the content. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe. And I would like to say, just for a second, we appreciate you, iFun, for sponsoring this content and all Warley content on the channel. We really enjoy our partnership with you, and we look forward to a whole nother year of sponsored partnership. Thank you guys so much, and until next time, everybody, peace.
Bye.
Yes, sir.
See, I tell you, news will spread very fast.
Oh, bro, it does.